What is up, guys? I'm your friendly neighborhood web war fanatic, and today I'll be going over my 5 top heroes in Marvel Champions for beginners, for newer players to start playing the game, to pick up the game, learn how to play, and get really good at Marvel Champions. And I do want to clarify before we begin, this is entirely subjective. It's just my personal opinion. A lot of these heroes are based off my personal experiences. Starting off when I first started playing the game, I played a lot of these heroes, and they helped me grow and get a lot better at the game, and also learn how to play. And the mechanics and everything and all that stuff. But definitely let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree, and what heroes you think are the top 5 heroes for beginners to learn how to play. So before we get started, I do want to go over Captain America really quickly here. He is out of print. I'm not going to mention him, but I do want to give an honorary mention to him just because I think Captain America is kind of the golden child for being one of the best heroes, if not the best hero, for newer players to start playing the game with. He has that, ideal 2-2-2 stat line right here, 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 2 defense. He can kind of do everything, right? He can ready up with his action right here. I can do this all day. Discard a card to ready back up. And then just a lot of board impact. He has economy with his resource generators in the super soldier serums. He has Steve's apartment for his alter ego action. He has a defense event and shield block, a really good defense event that can block off all damage. He has the heroic strike here, which can stun as well, right? So Captain America can really do anything. He is a very well-rounded hero, and I definitely recommend him for beginners. So if you somehow have Captain America and you're a beginner, that's a really good hero. A lot of newer players may not have a chance to get Captain America because he is out of print, so he's not going to be in the list here, but I did want to give an honorary mention and a shout out to him just because, if I didn't, it would kind of be a disservice to him and the game. So yeah, okay, let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to jump to the first hero that I recommended for new players, which is going to be from the core set here, and you guys probably know I'm already going to say this, but it's going to be Peter Parker Spider-Man. Spider-Man Peter Parker, I think that he is the OG and he is one of the best heroes for new players to start playing the game. He is my first hero that I first started playing, and from my personal experience, I really grew with Peter Parker Spider-Man. I think that he's not as straightforward as Steve Rogers, because Steve Rogers can just do everything right off the bat, right, with this 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Peter Parker has only 1 thwart, in hero form, which is a little bit under, right? We want at least 2 thwart. And he also has no thwart events, right? His only thwarting card is a Spiratrix here. It's a 1-cost upgrade. You attach to a minion. After you defeat the minion, then you remove 3 from a scheme, right? So it's a really simple card, but you need to have a minion in play in order to trigger the effects of his thwart removal power, right? So the thing with Peter Parker Spider-Man is that I think that for newer players that are just starting out the game, he may not be the strongest hero, but as you get better again and you learn how to play and you learn how to play Peter Parker better, he actually grows with you. And that's why he's one of my favorite recommendations for newer players, because he grows with the player, right? As the card pool has expanded, he's gotten a lot better, throughout the course of the game. Whenever only the core set was out, he was still powerful, right? I have a playthrough on my channel defeating Expert Magneto with only core set cards for Peter Parker Spider-Man, so he's still a strong hero, but you learn how to play and you grow with him, and you have to kind of maneuver around his kit, right? He's similar to Captain America, can really do everything, right? He has the backflip here as one of the best defense events. 0 cost, blocks out all damage just like Captain America's shield block. He has an encounter card cancel in the enhanced Spire sense. He has a super basic swing web kick here, right? Just 3 cost event, deals 8 damage, right? So his entire kit is so simple. Like all the cards, it's just really easy to play. It's just very simple text, right? Not like convoluted or anything like that. So that's why I really recommend him for new players. But as you build him with the aspect cards and you learn how to deck build, he gets a lot better and a lot more nuanced, which is the fun of Peter Parker Spider-Man. And most of all, he has Aunt May right here. It's a 1-cost support, actually exhauster, heal 4 damage from Peter Parker Spider-Man. That is insanely powerful. One of the best healing cards in the entire game of Marvel Champions. And that's another big reason why he's so good for new players, because if you get beat down, you drop down to like 2 health, 1 health. If you flip down, you can exhaust Aunt May to heal you up. The next turn you start off that turn in Alter Ego, exhaust Aunt May again, heal you back up, right? So you can easily get back into games whenever you feel like you're out of the game, right? And I have so many playthroughs on my channel where I'm like, 1 hit point, 2 hit points, about to lose. Aunt May coming in super clutch, recovers me all the way back up to full life, right? So definitely recommend Peter Parker Spider-Man. I cannot recommend him enough. A really, really strong hero, very versatile hero as well, that new players can really pick up and learn how to, play the game and also get better and grow with the hero. The second hero that I recommend for beginners is also going to be in the core set, and is the only other hero that I'm recommending for the core set, which will be Tony Stark Iron Man right here. And I think that he is also, anecdotally, a really good hero for newer players, because he teaches the player how to maneuver around their alter ego and teaches the value of upgrades, right? So unlike all the other heroes in the course to end, most heroes in Marvel Champions, Iron Man is extremely reliant on his upgrades, right? He's very thematic. You actually feel like you're building out Iron Man's suit whenever you're playing him, right? He only has a hand size of 1 in his hero form, which is really bad, but you get +1 hand size for each tech upgrade you control up to a max of 7. So whenever you're playing him, you need to play those tech upgrades like his arc reactor here, right? It has a tech trait and it's an upgrade. You need to play, his Mark 5 helmet, his Mark 5 armor, his power gauntlets, and his rocket boots, right? You need to get these cards down. They have a secondary effect as well, right? Like for this one, you can get +1 hit point. As here, actually, you spend a mental resource to gain the aerial trait, and Iron Man has a lot of kickers if you have the aerial trait, right? Like with the power gauntlets. Exhausted, deal 1 damage. If you have the aerial trait, it deals 2 damage instead, right? So it teaches the player the value of getting a bunch of upgrades on the table, and then on demand, you can trigger these upgrades whenever you want, as long as you already have control of them, right? And they're already in play. So a lot of new players would like to play a lot of events, but Tony kind of teaches you, hey, getting upgrades is very valuable as well, and you can kind of learn around that, and also the value of the alter ego right here, right? Because when you first start playing as Tony Stark, you don't want to flip straight up to hero form if your hand size is just 1, right? If you aren't able to play a tech upgrade, you want to spend that first turn, in his alter ego, and he has a hand size of 6 here, and Futurist can help you look through your deck, like right, the top 3 cards of your deck, and then grab 1 card to your hand, so that can help you learn how to make better decisions and just improve that as well, right? So Tony Stark, definitely for me, really taught me the value of playing upgrades and not just playing events, needing to build out my board, and Tony is a great hero for that. So I definitely recommend him for new players as well. The third hero that I'm going to recommend for new players is going to be going over to events now. It's going to be Wolverine, right? We just kind of went over an upgrade-oriented hero in Iron Man, and now we're going to go over an event-oriented hero in Wolverine. And Wolverine, he's super thematic, right? He has the healing factor as a hero ability, so after the player phase begins, you heal 2 damage. He gives a lot of breathing room to new players because you can just take a lot of damage, and you just keep on healing automatically. You don't have to flip down to Alter Ego to recover by 6, right? You just heal it up every single turn constantly with that healing factor. His cards are also super duper simple. I think that's very thematic to Wolverine, the character, right? He just wants to do damage. It doesn't matter if he gets hurt in the process. He just wants to punch, claw and hit, right? So I think it's very thematic. He has his claws here to help you pay for those events, right? You can just easily rush villains down with his powerful attack events. He actually has 6 attack events in his kit, one of the most of any hero, if not the most. 2 copies of the Berserker Barrage, 2 copies of Slice and Dice, and 2 copies of the Lunging Strike here, right? Super simple. Hero action attack, do 8 damage to enemy. If you use a claws to pay for this card, it gains overkill. Very, very simple effects. Very easy for new players to pick up. Track by Scent is a very simple thwart event. 2 to remove 3 threat. If you remove the last threat from a scheme, you draw 2 cards, helping boost his economy. And he also has 2 copies of the Regenerative Healing, which will boost his healing, right? If you take a lot of damage, you can just play the Regenerative Healing and then heal 4 from your identity, right? Just give you a boost to bounce back up in the game if you are dropping down to very low life. So Wolverine, definitely a very simple hero, very event oriented, but it can really teach a player to just have fun playing events, right? And maneuvering around the events, and also kind of going against that, right? If you need to play against a villain where you can't just play events to beat them, right? You need to actually learn to play upgrades and supports and build out a little bit. Even though you can do a lot with the events, you kind of want to not do that right away and build out, depending on the scenario, right? Some scenarios you can definitely just play those events and defeat the villain in one go. So I think he definitely adds a lot of diversity, for new players as well. So I definitely recommend the Wolverine Hero Pack. He also has really, really good aggression cards if you're looking to build out and expand your card pool as well. So Wolverine, definitely a big recognition for me for newer players. The next hero that I'm going to recommend is also very similar to Wolverine. It's going to be X-23 here, Laura Kinney. And yeah, the same genes as Wolverine, right? She has, the claws as well and a healing factor as well. Her healing factor is not built into her hero ability here, but she also has the regenerative longevity, where you can heal a total of 4 damage from your identity and Honey Badger. And having that alter ego recovery, just like Wolverine, of 6 is massive and allowing you to flip down, and then you can heal back up, right? And then bounce back and get back into games, right? X-23, unlike all the other heroes that I mentioned, really revolves around readying, right? So with her hero ability here, right, the living weapon, after you take any amount of damage, you can ready her back up. Honey Badger, after she takes damage, you can ready up X-23, right? So many ways to boost your attack stats and your thwart stat to ready back up and do tons of damage or tons of thwarting, right? She's kind of very different from Wolverine because he's very event oriented, right? You just play a bunch of events and you do your stuff, your thwarting and you're attacking through the events. X-23 has no thwarting events or attack events in her entire kit. all of her events do stuff like boosting her stats and stuff like that, right? So Animal Instinct is a zero cost event. When she makes a basic Thwart, she gets plus X Thwart for the Thwart, where that's a lot of thwarting there, where X is equal to her attack, right? So you get a boost to her Thwart equal to whatever her current attack stat is. So if you build her attack to be like 5, then she's throwing for 2 plus a 5, which would be 7 if you play this card as Interrupt, right? She's a little bit more complicated than the other heroes that we just talked about, but she's really like the epitome of like a readying hero. And for new players, I think it's going to be important to learn how valuable a ready is and playing a hero that readies a lot. And another really big thing with X23 is that all the cards in her kit cost very, very low, right? 2 costs for Honey Badger, 1 cost, 0 cost, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 here, 1, 1, right? And she has a 1 cost resource generator in the Grim Resolve, where you take a damage, you generate a wild resource, and when you take the damage, you can also ready back up with X23, right? So she's definitely a little bit more difficult to play, a little bit more complex, but once you play her a few times, definitely a new player can pick her up and really understand how she works. And she comes right out of the gate swinging really hard. You do not need to really build out with her. She's already kind of built out in her kit because of all those raids that she has, right? So she's definitely a very powerful hero that I recommend for newer players if you want that kind of quick and fast play style that she can definitely do really well. And then lastly here, this one might be a little bit controversial, but I really stand by this pick here as well. I think Maria Hill is also a really good hero for newer players to start playing the game. So Maria Hill came in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. expansion, and what she teaches new players is the value of supports and also, being in alter ego and really emphasizing traits and how important that is, right? Whenever I first started playing Marvel Champions, all my decks didn't really revolve around traits. I just kind of like play cards that I thought were good, right? But there's a lot of nuance between like being in alter ego, having certain traits, and being hero form, having certain traits as well. And Maria Hill has a shield trait in alter ego and hero form. And a lot of Maria Hill's cards, you can actually play in alter ego and hero form because they're just actions here, right? Like on the double, it's an action. Ready any number of shield supports with a combined cost of 6 or less, right? Reinforcement is just an action here. The hard card is a hero action, so we only play this in hero form, but a lot of the other cards are also just actions, right? Like the Iliad, her really powerful support, right? It also teaches new players the value of getting a very expensive support down, right? Wasting your entire turn, doing not much, just getting, one really expensive support, but over the course of the game, emphasizing building out that support, keeping it in play, and basically every turn that you have the Iliad in play, you're getting more and more value out of it. And this card comes in with 3 mission counters, but with Maria Hill's abilities and cards, you can actually refund the counters and keep this card in play for a very long time, right? Like the Shield Direct right here is action, exhaust this card, place 1 all-purpose counter on a shield support, so you can place it on the Iliad right here, right? And then Maria Hill's her hero ability reassignment, as an action you can move 1 all-purpose counter from a shield support to a different shield support, so really helping you be a leader and manage all of your powerful supports and all the shield stuff that you have, right? And just really feeling like you're at your desk working and then you're like commanding everybody and bossing everybody around. I think that she's definitely a very innovative type of hero and a new way to play the game. The reason why I think a lot of people may say that Maria Hill is a controversial recommendation for newer players is because of one of these supports that she has access to, the Pericles right here, right? It's a 6 cost support, comes in with 2 supply counters. As an action, you can exhaust the card, remove a counter from it, and then give a hero or villain a status card, right? So you can give yourself a tough or like the villain a stun or confuse, and also give an ally or a minion a status card of your choice as well, right? So this card is very, very powerful, and a lot of people believe that this card kind of breaks the entire game. I do agree, it is a very powerful card, but I think that against a higher difficulty scenarios, there is going to require a lot more management for the player. And, even for the lower difficulty scenarios for newer players, I think that it's fine for a new player to play with a powerful hero and have fun because you are playing, a superhero game, right? So you do want to, be powerful. And if you just start playing a game, like I know when I was a new player, I wasn't like, oh man, this is way too powerful. Like I don't want to do this anymore, right? Yes, the Pericles is very powerful, right? It can pretty much stop, the villain's activation every single turn by either giving yourself a tough to block out the damage or by, stun or confusing that villain, right? But it also teaches newer players the value of tempo, right? Because if you just stop the villain, but you're not actually pushing the tempo and you're not actually building out or dealing damage, you're not really doing anything with your turns, right? So just stopping the villain every single turn with the Pericles won't lead the player to a win. You actually have to do more other than just use a Pericles every single turn, right? I think that a lot of new players get stuck in the trap of like, what should I do? Like, should I do damage? Should I do thwarting? I just don't know what to do right now, right? And a Pericles gives you that breathing room for you to make those mistakes and then learn like, okay, I need to be doing damage right now. I need to clear this minion. I need to clear the side scheme. I need to remove threat while the Pericles kind of holds the villain in place for you, right? Because if you're not doing anything with your turns, the villain is still accelerating. They're still getting encounter cards. They're still milling through their encounter deck which is not good, right? So you want to progress and you actually want to, build tempo as you're playing. And I think that Maria Hill allows a player to have that breathing room in order to do that and learn how to do that more efficiently. So yeah, even though Maria Hill has a little bit more of a complex sequencing in her kit, I think each card itself actually has very simple text. I think that that is really good for new players whenever you have very simple effects, but it can get more complex as you compound them together and do powerful combos. There you guys have it. That is my top 5 heroes that I recommend for newer players. From the core set, we have Tony Stark Iron Man, which teaches players how to be an alter ego and how to utilize their upgrades. We have Peter Parker Spider-Man, just a very all-rounded, very versatile hero that can bounce back if you take a lot of damage. We have Wolverine, a very event-oriented hero. We have X-23 from her hero pack, a hero that can ready up a lot and has a very inexpensive kit that goes, right out of the gate swinging. And you also have Maria Hill from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. expansion, which can teach players the value of very powerful and expensive supports, getting them in play, and then what they'll do, throughout the course of the game. And she also has very fun sequencing with her alter ego and hero side, right? And depending on which form you want to be and what you want to use her basic exhaust to do, right? For her alter ego action to, tutor a shield support, or to just use, her basic Thor or attack. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think of my list and what other heroes that you recommend. I try to make every hero on this list very accessible for newer players, right? So we don't want to pick like out of print heroes like Captain America or Doctor Strange. But yeah, I mean, all these heroes are currently still in print, and the core set is gonna, be in print forever. This is just my personal opinion and what I would personally recommend for newer players. Let me know down in the comments what are your recommendations for newer players, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.